Hi everybody, this is TJ with the Backpacktrader and my newest strategy, the Catapult Trader ES. Got a boot camp coming up in several days. I'm really excited. I've had many requests to do more walkthroughs and to show more examples, and even more feedback from people concerned about the extreme volatility that we've seen. And so for that reason, I thought today I would focus on the micro ES. The micro ES trades at 1/10 the size. It's only $5 a point instead of $50 a point. And what that means is greater flexibility in position sizing. So perhaps where you might have a hard time affording a single contract with the mini ES, with the micro, maybe you could afford 2 or 3 contracts, and then you could take advantage of the scalping opportunities and the great home run trades that the Catapult gets its name from. With the micro, it's easier to grow your account and scale your position. Over time, you can grow your account faster. So I thought in this video, we would look at last week's trades. I'm going to focus on 4 mini sessions. I'm going to see how quickly I can get through this. The mini sessions are from 9:30 to 10:30, 11 to 12, 2 p.m. to 2:50, and 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And all of that is exchange time. Chicago time, Central time. And we'll incorporate our power of quitting. The goal is to get to a winning trade, and then we're done with the mini session, and we'll allow 3 trades maximum to do that. So I'm going to quickly go through the mini session trades starting from Monday. We'll walk all the way through till Friday, and then we'll look at the big picture results and see how much time there is left. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so just to give you a quick overview, walk through what a trade looks like. This is before the first mini session. We'll see what happens next. The little plus sign is your entry. Red means down. Green means up. These are your targets. Here's your stop. The stop is going to move down, and we could scale out at each target. So target 1 is actually our primary goal. If we can get to a target 1, then the goal has been achieved. You can imagine trading multiple positions. If you look over in the data window, the entire trade is here. Your reward, your risk. Now you'll notice 21 3/4 points is a reward to target 1. Abnormally large due to the extreme volatility we're experiencing in the markets. So if it was $50 a point, that would be over $1,000. With the micro, that's over $100 and is a lot more reasonable for most people. You could always increase your micro contract size. Like I said earlier, you could scale out at the various targets, etc. So keep all that in mind as I walk through these examples. So the first setup has to happen at 9:30, and you could see right here, this one is 9:30. And lo and behold, probably because the doctor is in the house, that is, I'm showing you the example, the first trade actually loses, and that is a loss of 19 points. So again, that's a pretty big loss for a full-size contract, $450. But it's only a $45 loss with a single micro lot. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's all relative. So what happens next? A second trade. This one triggers in, and you can see that it basically pushes through its target 1, which is good for more than 20 points. That already is more than what was lost on the first trade. Target 2, 30 points. Target 3, 41 points. Target 4, 51 points. And ultimately it stops out right here. So while the first trade was a loser, we're interested in quitting our sessions positive. So that's a winning session. All right, so let's do this. Let's do a fast test. We're going to quick count sessions. That was a winning session. And let's go on to the next one. Starts at 11 a.m. This is at 11:05. And that one does trigger in. It pushes up. It does hit its target 1. That's a winner. And then it's going to stop out at break even. So that was good for 17 points. And that's another winning session. Now, there's a reason why the colors didn't turn to green in this case. This is something I will be teaching in the boot camp, but this was indeed a winning trade. The next session is at 2 p.m. So let's just speed forward through. 13:45. Here we go. So this is at 10 minutes after 2. You can see it gets short, comes down, hits its target 1, almost hits target 2, but then stops out. And yet that's still a winning session, 18.75 points. And then finally the evening trade starts at 1800, and you get short right here, 20 minutes before 9, it gets short, triggers in, hits its targets, perfect target 2 right there, and actually pushes down even past target 3, not quite to target 4, then stops out, and that was good for, see, 8 points. Much smaller trade. It's adjusting to market conditions. So in advance, you know you could adjust your position size based on the risk of the trade and calculate what the proper position size should be based on what will be taught in the boot camp. So there's another winning session. So 4 for 4, only 1 losing trade, and 4 winning mini sessions. Let's see what happened on Tuesday. So if you remember, markets hit their circuit breaker last Tuesday. Whole world's been going crazy, as you know. So an extreme session, just to start with. Let's see what occurs. There's some nice winning trades early on, but we're not looking at these time slots. We're looking at 9:30. So there's a nice winning trade, but that one still comes too early. And as disciplined traders, we will wait and go with the trade plans that are proving to win a vast majority of the time. And so this one gets short, and this is a tough session. This one actually loses. It did hit a scalping target, but we're not using the scalping target for this exercise. Again, these are concepts that I will be going into in great depth this Saturday for during the boot camp. So this session, it had the first losing trade. It lost 13.25 points. Then it had a winning trade, and that one was able to win 10.25, and then the second contract 15.75. So if you add all this together, this barely made money if you were trading 2 positions. If you're trading 2 positions, I think you ended up like a couple points positive. So while technically that is a winning session, if you traded more than 2 positions, it would have stopped out and you would have taken a loss because you only made the 1 tick here before it proceeded upwards. That happens sometimes. So we're going to put this in as a losing session, even though if you did trade 2 contracts or 2 positions, it would have been a winning session. Barely. Maybe even break even, but I'm going to put it in as a losing session. All right, so let's go to the next one. 11 a.m., and it came late in the morning. It came 5 minutes before the end, and that counts. Between 11 and 12, this came 5 minutes to 12. It counts. It pushed through, hit all its targets, and even target 4, and then stopped out, and so that's a winning session. So that counts like the chicken scratch, 5th winner. Okay, let's keep going. So speed forward to 2 p.m. and there was a winning session here, but it's too early. And this one, there were no trades, so we didn't really have a chance to take advantage of this move higher with this particular chart. And so this one just stays flat. We won't count it at all. So let's now see what happens in the evening. So here we are at 1800, 6 p.m. and it does push down. It hits its target 1. It's good for 10.25 points. And then it stops out before pushing lower. Now, we don't have to be so aggressive with our money management. We could instead be less aggressive, but I'm just keeping things the same for everything. And that's still a target 1 winner and a winning session, good for 10.25 points. We'll take it. All right, let's go to the next day, Wednesday. All right, so the morning's about to open up here. Here's our first trade of the morning at 9:30, right on the nail. Make a little adjustment with this entry right above that spike, but nevertheless, it triggers in right there, pushes up, hits its target 1 and its target 2, and then it's going to stop out. So not bad, because that's good for 15.75 points and 24 points. Really nice trade. Another winning session. Let's go to the 11 a.m. session. So here's the 11 a.m. session, and I think you could see pretty clearly what's going to happen here. This is a catapult trade. This is how you catapult yourself into profits. This is how you put yourself into a position to pick up a Catapult runner. Look at that. Beautiful. So all four positions hit. The runner hit. Not bad. It only gets one little winning session, but you could see what a winning session it was. And just to be clear, that was good for 72.5 points just to the runner. So multiply that by 5, and that's how much a micro would have made. Multiply that by 50, and that's how much a mini contract would have made. Mouth-watering, but that's how Catapult got its name. I wanted to show you an example of what a Catapult trade really looks like. All right, let's see what happened in the afternoon. So if I remember correctly, this afternoon kind of struggled, and then this was one of the rare losing sessions. The afternoon session, I believe, is the best so far. It's the winningest session, but today it did not win. It actually lost on this first trade here. Well, I take that back. The first trade lost 19.5 points, but the second trade, adjusting to market conditions, a Catapult trade in the opposite direction. Look at that. Finally stopping out on the close. So right here, so as not to hold overnight, you mark it out either on the close or right before the close, but not before hitting a 27, 41, and 55 point target. Now these are not ticks, these are points. 4 ticks per point. So another winning session. Not bad. Let's go to Thursday. All right, so you could see some early morning nice moves, and maybe there are some opportunities in the early morning. It's not something I've pursued because I'm on the West Coast, but some of you may be interested in that. We'll be discussing this during the boot camp. All kinds of possibilities. That's what a Catapult trade looks like. But now we're looking for our first trade of the mini session. And this one here, 950, does it trigger in? No, it does not. But the next trade does. It's a long trade. Look how much smaller it is. Adjusting to market conditions, but this is still within the first hour and it counts. And you can see that it hits its target one, good for 8.25 points. It actually hits all 4 of its targets, and then the trailer starts pushing higher, but ultimately it stops out right here. And a beautiful one and done trade and session, and it turned just in the nick of time to get out and to set up the 11 a.m. session. So this is another winning session. Let's look at the next one. So that one obviously loses, gets in, gets out. Losses happen. There's a winner. There's another trade, and that one loses too. So this may end up being a losing session for the 11 a.m. We've seen it win so far the first 3. And now a trade here, but it's already at 12 noon and it's too late. So only 2 trades, but a losing session. It is what it is. Let's take a look at the 2 p.m. next mini session. All right, so looks like a losing trade here, and this is going to also be a losing trade. So this will be a losing session. This is already too late. So 2 losers on this one as well. So 2 losing mini sessions in a row. It's good that you see that because it could happen. Trading is trading. Let's take a look at the evening session. So here we are. This is a little bit too early, so it's debatable. I counted it because right at 6 p.m. you still can get into the trade, so we're going to count that one. There are some trade plans where it actually has to be the setup bar on the proper time. This one I don't think needs to be, but nevertheless, it is a losing trade. But then, and that's an 8.5 point loss, but it sets up a long trade, comes next. And that one actually plows through to a much larger winner, 12.75 points, and then stops out. So assuming that with multiple positions, still maybe negative, you take a third trade. Remember, we're allowed 3. This one comes at 20 minutes past 7, and that one ends up being a Catapult trade. So sometimes it's lucky to lose a small trade because it means you have to take another trade, and trade plans work in mysterious ways. And because of this one not winning, that third trade ends up being a wonderful, wonderful, profitable trade, hitting all 4 targets and a nice runner. Look at, you thought you were going to stop out here, didn't you? But it kept going all the way down to here. And that was good for 27.5 or 27.75 points just on the trailer. All right, that brings us to the final day of the week, Friday. Now, if you remember, the stimulus package or the relief package was going through Congress, working its way through, and there was so much volatility, and the Catapult Trader ES was able to adjust and take advantage of whatever came its way. Did not win 100% of the time, but we'll take a look in a moment how it actually did. So here's a case. Now, this is a much more strict start time, 9:30. This came in at, that has to be the setup bar on this session, giving you a little bit of detail that we'll get into in the boot camp. So this is not a trade that counts because that was 5 minutes too soon. And that's a good thing because it would have been a loser, but this one does count. And that one's going to go up and basically hit, just barely missing target 3. So 1 and done, and that's a winning session. Let's look at the 11 a.m. mini session. So then we have the 11 a.m. session, and that's this one at 11:20. Triggers in, pushes up, hits a nice 13.25 point winner, comes down, stops out with its trailer, 1 and done. Another winning session. All right, so let's go to the 2 p.m. This will be the final trade of the week because there is no 6 p.m. on Friday. So let's see what happens. It's right here, 5 minutes after 2 p.m. Target 1, target 2, target 3, stops out. Pretty straightforward. You can see the 11, 17, and 23 point targets. 1 and done. Another winning session. And that's all she wrote. 5, 10, 13 winning sessions, 3 losing sessions. So that is 13 out of 16 winning mini sessions this past crazy week. And that's it. That's a walkthrough. So I want to ask you if you can see yourself trading this kind of method. A few things I want to point out. Again, these are 5-minute bars, so it's easy to know when to anticipate a setup. You can see when the line is crossing over because that's basically what you're looking for. This is a very powerful momentum indicator, and the relationship of these two lines are, well, they're amazing when it's put on the right chart with the right trade plan, as you can see. I'm a big trade plan guy, as you know. All my strategies rely on proven trade plans. Not taking random trades, but taking trades per a plan. With a plan like this, or numerous mini sessions, you can plan your day, you can know when you need to pay attention, and you can turn on the alerts or the alarms so that an alert will be sent to you. It'll either make a sound or a pop-up on your computer, or even send you a text message when a setup occurs and when you have to do things like move your stop, etc. So it's really designed for the busy person. Remember, I'm all about trading less, living more. The Backpack Trader, whether you're trading from your sofa or the Siberian Express or anywhere in between, of course, these days, most likely from your sofa, hopefully, while we are all socially distancing, staying at home basically. But this is designed to help you get your life back and to give you a way to make some money while still not giving up what it means to be a free person. I mean, the Backpack Trader is all about freedom from trading, freedom through trading, freedom by trading, however you want to say it. So I do want to point out that the boot camp is this Saturday. I'll be holding it live. You can tune in from the comfort of your own home. I will be recording everything, and all the videos will be made available for future use so that you can review it all you want. All the indicators will be given to you. Also, if you want to sign up for the boot camp, please click on the link that you will find in this email. And there is still time to get the discounted price, but within 24 hours, the price will be going up. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on the bootcamp. This is TJ with the Catapult Trader. See you next time.